Yeah.
So after she lets him go, and they're saying there's only one place that really can get you out, and that's the hole, which is apparently where all the bad food goes.
Yeah.
So they end up escaping. They don't even find their weapons yet. They just flat out escape.
Yeah, no, they accidentally
find their weapons because they were sending them back to Tom's shop to sell.
Yeah.
Because they end up escaping through the kitchens. And then they see all this production, like this huge, gigantic factory-like production of food.
Yeah.
Of chefs going, cooking day in and day out in shifts.
That's because all the food...
Yeah, then they finally...
what they mention I think in the prologue of the first book, that wagons of food just...
leave Dell.
Yeah.
But they don't... But the thing is, they don't know where the food comes from.
Yeah.
And
they just know that wagons of food appear at the palace gates and are led in. That's all the food everybody in the palace eats.
And then all the scraps.
Yeah, all the scraps
get thrown to the peasants.
Yeah.
Filthy peasants.
So you've just got this continuous circuit of wagons leaving Norad's full of food, going to Dale, dropping it off,
the food that
coming back empty, and just endlessly.
So the food that the Rakachar say is uncleanly.
Yeah, that's the thing, is they randomly will just pick, if this baker made 5 cakes. These 3 are unclean. Take them
to the pit.
To the pit. No, they just go through and it loads up onto the...
And the Rakachars actually take them through the pit, load them up, and give them to the Grey Guards, which we find out right after this moment. But right when they're getting ready to go to the pit, they're at the pit, the main Rakachar shows up and says, I knew you guys escaped somehow. Yeah. I don't know who did it, but they're done for. And so they I can't remember who. I think Jasmine was the one who killed him.
Well, I don't think she killed him. Essentially, hit him upside the head with a frying pan or something.
Yeah. No, Tyr was the one who smacked him. It was
ridiculous. Like a cast iron skillet, just boom on the head,
knocked him out. And I thought it was that reminded me of. Remember Robots?
The movie?
Yeah, the movie Robots with
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams and all that stuff, where the guy just beats Big Well with a big old pan and all that stuff. Oh my god, I'm as crazy as my mother. It just makes me imagine just that part. Oh my god, I'm as crazy as my mother. So, and they end up stripping the Rakachar of his clothing.
Yeah, and they put the Rakat, because they fight a few, don't they? 2 or 3.
Yeah, they fight a few. They steal the clothes, and then they go into the tunnel. But then because apparently there's poison all around the cave.
What's was it poison spores or something?
Yeah, it was fungus or something. Fungus,
like that.
Yeah, that grows on you and stuff. And the moment it touches you, it grows all over you and rapidly kills
unless you're wearing red.
Unless you're wearing red,
which the Rakachars are covered in head to toe red.
Yeah. So they end up escaping through the tunnel, and the main Rakachar wakes up, hunts after him, and says, "I'm going to kill you guys."
Yeah, but he goes,
"You guys aren't leaving."
But he's naked now.
Yeah, and then his hatred for them was overpowered by stupidity.
So he dies in the tunnels, in the pit. But they get him to the wagons and hide under the wagons, and where do the wagons end up? Tom's shop.
Because they hide under it.
Yeah.
So, let's see, Life and Death. So after they get to Tom's shop, they decide, and this is where we talked about earlier, where Tom kind of becomes your favorite character.
Yeah. Because they get all mad at him.
The Great Guards ends up leaving and all that stuff, and Tom's like, how about you all just come inside, have a drink, relax for a little bit, on the house. At a discount price.
Yeah, that's what on the house means. For Tom, is a slight discount.
And then, as they're disappeared, they're just I don't know who's listening right now, but if anybody wants to leave, now would be the best time.
Yeah, while
while nobody's here because it's just old Tom.
Yeah. So,
and that's when like Jasmine and them kind of go after him and says like you're working with the Shadow Lord and all that stuff.
Like, you just care about money. Yes, I do, but
because that is my own business.
Yeah.
It's like we speak of nobody's names but Tom's alone. I don't care who you are, what you do, as long as you're a paying customer.
Yes, and that's what, man. And Tom is just being practical. It's like the Shadow Lord has ruled Del Toro for 16 years. Tom just goes with the flow. As long as you are a paying customer, he does not care.
That's the thing. Like he'll make some deals when he sees fit, and he helps when he sees fit.
Yes, he does.
Rarely as it does.
He does have sympathies for the Resistance and anybody going against the Shadow Lord, but those do not outweigh his need for profit. He's a good Ferengi.
He is. He's how Mr. Krabs should be.
Yeah.
So, at that point, they decide to actually, start...
Do they buy the horses from him? Don't they?
I don't think...
I thought they do. And they're like, because Jasmine's like, well, here's a bunch of gold coins. And because he sells them the horses, even though the horses were already bought.
Yeah.
And he's like, the gold glitters.
Yes.
I'll think of something. Take the horses.
Somebody stole the horses.
And
were they the Grey Guards, or were they, I think they were Dooms?
No, they were the Grey Guards.
They were the Grey Guards?
But he got the Grey Guards, he had the Grey Guards come in and he got them drunk. And they were like, and he was like, all this gold, take the horses and go.
Yeah.
And they come to they ride the horses.
They come to the actual plains of the rats.
The big river there.
Yeah. So the plains itself is surrounded by a giant river.
Yeah.
And they end up...
very deep, very wide.
Yeah, and this is where they kind of start using Tom's trinkets.
Yeah.
They use the no-bake bread, they use the fire starter, they use the water eaters.
Get them across the river.
Get them across the river.
Yeah, because they toss one in, and it just makes like this big congealed
crystal.
Yeah, and they toss another one in, and so it's like this blobby, crystal-y bridge across the river.
Yeah.
That they're able to walk across.
Yeah. In the anime, they do it a little different. Like, I like the way they did in the anime. Like, when they throw it in there, the water just is sucked up into a giant exploding crystal, and it holds there for a little bit. And then, and they just walk on it like Moses. They just walk, on the floor like Moses.
But once they get across the river,
they set up a fire and all that. But then that's when the rats attack.
And it's like thousands and thousands of rats.
That scene, especially because they did a great job in the anime. But now, do you remember, you watched a lot of Crocodile Hunter when you were little, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the episode of where they had that rat infestation in that barn, and they were just trying to throw snakes in?
Oh, yeah.
And the snakes are trying to get out, going, this is too many, I can't.
Yeah, the snakes in. 10 minutes later, you just see the snakes leaving. They're like, I can't do this. Bye.
It's too much for me.
Yeah, because there's hundreds and hundreds of rats.
That's what it reminds me of. That's saying that it reminds me of that point for those who are old like us.
Yeah.
The Crocodile Hunter is a national treasure. Well, a global treasure.
A global
Steve
treasure. Irwin is a global treasure.
Yes, he is. He is he's up there with Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers and all that. So if you get a chance, watch some of his old videos. They're worth it. But back to the rats. So they basically ate everything.
Yeah, no, they devoured everything. Not the fire eaters, because I think Jasmine or Leaf had those on his person.
But the only thing that saved them, because they had the clothes of the no rats, because they couldn't get on their clothes and stuff. because if it was either like the fungus or it was like slippery or something, they couldn't climb up on it.
Yeah.
But after, I can't remember how they get out of that. I think they either ran or they used fire beads or something.
I think they used fire beads, and then they jumped in the river.
Yeah,
and then went down river a little bit, and then got back on the bank. Yeah, because the rats just saw the firelight and would just descended upon them.
Yeah.
So then they had to sneak into the city.
Yeah, and at that point, that's when Leaf tries to act a little funny. Starts acting a little crazy. Like he starts walking in there blamelessly and starts using the little bubble lights.
Yeah,
and then we come to find out.
Well, he can, because the guardian of the opal is kind of using telepathy to talk to him.
Yeah, he's been kind of doing it for a little while.
Yeah, and she's trying to convince him to just give up
the belt, give it to me.
Yeah,
and kill yourself.
Yeah.
And this is when we meet Rhea, the guardian of the second one,
who is a giant snake.
We're talking basilisk, like Harry Potter basilisk size snake.
In my mind, she's bigger.
Yeah,
this is a big friggin' snake, and she wears the opal
on her crown,
on her head. So she's
because she believes she is the Shadow Lord's chosen.
Yeah, she's the Shadow Lord's favorite.
Yeah, because she is the reason that Hera became the city of rats. Because the Rakachars would feed the rats to her.
Yeah,
they would because the rat catchers were rat breeders.
Yes, yeah, you found that out, that they were breeding the rats,
feeding them to Rhea, and also like.
Now later on, you find out why they were breeding the rats in the first place. I don't know if I'm going to give that away yet.
Well, in the third series?
Yeah, in the third series.
We'll talk about it later.
We'll get there when we get there.
We'll get there when we get there.
But anyways, the rat catchers, rat breeders.
And this is where the book kind of goes downhill for you.
Yes, because they're in that, because she's at the center of the city. In this, big
giant cathedral.
Yeah. And
the rats are still around. She can somewhat control the rats.
Yeah, somewhat, and
Leaf and Barda and all them are trying to fight her, but it doesn't really work. But she doesn't really attack them because of the ruby.
Yes, the ruby wards off against venom or poison. So she knows that she can't kill him that way.
Yeah. In which she's a giant snake, so.
Yeah, I'm she's a giant snake. She just gobble them up because crap about using your poison.
At the same time, if she's on the inside, they're on the inside, they may just kill her from the. I would have been fine if they killed her on the inside, kind of like the Herculean moments.
Yeah. But my issue is how she gets defeated so quickly.
Because Leaf gets knocked out.
Leaf gets knocked out, and doesn't she she's her tail's coiled around him, and Barda's under some rubble.
Again.
Again. Barda's not wonderfully useful.
In the first few books.
Yeah. He's just constantly getting knocked out. Or rendered useless. And then Jasmine just
Jasmine's the MVP every time.
Jasmine just grabs a rope or something and comes down and
Tarzan's and slits its throat.
Slashes her throat, and then the thing just falls down dead. I'm
very anticlimactic.
The way it was written, it's very quick. It's out of nowhere quick.
Yeah.
Because I think Leaf throws a fire starter at her and it doesn't do anything. And, Barda's over there being, useless, and you're how are they gonna, get out of this? And then, Jasmine just, hey, you guys, and comes down and saves the day like Sloth. I would have much preferred, something a little more dramatic, or a fight, or, maybe Jasmine tries to come down and do that big slash, but it
didn't work.
It doesn't connect.